Hey, this is Daniel Norton. I'm here in my studio in New York City with Emily. And for this video, I wanted to do something kind of different. I often look at other photographers' work, especially I've been looking a lot more at photographers I've kind of studied when I was first starting and people that I really admire. And I was looking at a bunch of work that Peter Lindbergh had done, mostly in the 90s, where he used like a lot of kind of shadow. He was hanging, it looks like he was hanging flags and things, or maybe just using natural shadows that fell from the windows in his shots and kind of working them all in and out of these shadow areas. And I thought that'd be kind of cool to play with a little bit. Of course, I wanted to create it so I could be a little more in control of it and not just use the natural light, which of course I could also do. So what I've done here is I have Emily in the studio. I just have my white wall here. We're going to play around a little bit. And I've got a couple of Profoto strobes set up. And let me show you kind of what I'm doing here. I've got this black and white V-flat here. And essentially, this is going to be my shadow line. So I've got it set up so it brings a shadow kind of in the middle. We'll play around a little bit with where Emily stands in the shadow. And Profoto B1X out there with a grid on there. It has the widest grid, the OCF grid on there. We tried it without the grid at first, but too much light was popping around. I wasn't getting enough shadow, so I decided to put the grid on there for control. It's casting light this way, creating almost like a sunlight kind of feel, like kind of hard shadow sunlight. And then we've got this, which could be the edge of a wall. You could imagine whatever it could be. It's just whatever we want to control it. So let's see what that looks like. I'm over here, tethered into Capture One as always. I have my Canon camera here with the Profoto remote on top. And I'm set at an f9 at 250. That's so I don't get any of the ambient light in my shot. So right now she's kind of half and half in the shadow. We'll see what that looks like. And we can see, actually overall it's a little bit dark. So I'm actually going to go to f8. I think I might have bumped it and brought it to f9. So I'm going to add a little bit of light to my A light. See what that looks like. Now I'm not in TTL right now, I'm in the manual mode, so there you go. That's kind of got a cool, and even that by itself is kind of cool. It's got some mood to it, got some feel, but most of your noise in digital is in the shadows, so I'd like to be a little bit more careful where my shadows sit, so I'm going to use a second light here. I already have a V-flat set up. It's white on this side, so why not throw another head in there? I have another head in there. I have that on the B channel. And I just have this one mostly turned down all the way. It's at 2.4 out of 10. So it should be pretty low. And that's going to give us our range, right? To kind of fill in a little bit. Maybe give it a little bit more juice. What we want to do here is, I don't want to balance out the shadow completely, because if I do, then I won't have the mood that I want. All right, so I think my overall shot is a little bit dark still. So I'm actually going to, you got a lot of options. I could just turn the lights up, but I think I'm going to go to 5.6. I should still be fine at 5.6, not picking up the ambient light. This is a pretty wide shot, so there we go. That gives me exposure back where I want it to be. So she's got decent skin tone. My white is white. There's detail in my shadow, so I don't have to worry too much about it. But it's there, so if I decide in post I want to like crunch down the shadows more, I have that option. Depending on the individual frame, I'll play around with that. I am going to ensure, though, right now by turning off my flash, that the ambient light in the space is not affecting my shot. Yeah, okay. So you can see barely any detail here. So it's not really affecting me even at 5.6. So that's good. Turn my flash back on. So again, I've got a Profoto unit out there giving me my shadow. I've got this one here giving me fill. And we're just going to play around with this and kind of get a little bit of a fashion feel. I'm using the 24-70. I am set at about 50 millimeters to kind of give that normal light kind of feel. And we've already, yeah, that's it, good. I'm kind of working, Emily's working partially in the shadow, partially out of the shadow. That's nice, good. And another option that we have here, yeah, this is pretty cool. Another option we have here is to have her come off the wall a bit. That will actually change a little more. Yep. That'll actually change up where the shadow falls. Give me a little bit more shoulder this way. There we go. Perfect. Right, and again, now I can play around with that shadow more, maybe kind of lean into the light more so we get full face in the light. There we go. And this is the reason why I didn't like completely overexpose my A group, is because sometimes I want to light her with it, right? It's not only is it my white wall, it's also my main light on her. So we can see that, she still has good skin tone. And it's a hard light, so we're working with that kind of sunlight feel, and she's got good bone structure, so we can definitely, good. That's nice. Actually, do that again. I'm gonna get the hands in the shot. Up. There we go, that's good. Cool. Again, I'm playing around with the shadow. Different poses are gonna give us different feel. I'm gonna get a little lower. All right, one more. So sometimes when you're shooting more of a, good. You know, we can even come in a few for some tighter ones. You know, because again, I have the zoom lens on there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's shoot a few like that. A little punchy light, hard light on her. You know, hard light is not going to work on everybody. So you want to be careful. I'm also being careful not to have my shadow too much on her. But nice and simple. Good. All right, let's go back to the wall for the last ones. And again, now I have her here, and I'm watching that shadow on the wall. Go back, 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 stop. Perfect. Now I've got her somewhat half and half. See what that looks like. And again, now I have that more. Work your face this way slightly. Good, good, good. And now I've got this hard light with a bit of a kind of a rim going on. There we go. A couple more. Again, nice and simple, getting the feel for it. And I could also change my position. Now, I need to be careful not to throw a shadow. You can probably see my shadow. I don't know if you can or not. But I can even come over here and work your face towards me, Emily. Good. And I can work her so that the shadow goes there. So again, I can play around with that. And this gives me a lot of options as far as background's concerned. And I could also come this way and then turn towards me. Right, now I'm going to adjust my exposure slightly here because I know that this is going to be darker. Because now she's in the shadow, right? And I can play with this kind of naturalistic bounce. Do a couple more like that. I'm going to raise my B group a little bit. Right, and that gives me like a flatter light if I want that look with some light behind her. So I got a lot of options here. Back to where I was. Kind of end with the start. We'll end where we begin. It's always a good place to go, right? So again, I always say this: you want to play around like with different styles. Look at photographers that you respect. Look at their work. See what they do. Don't copy it per se, although sometimes that's a good way to learn something. But play around with their ideas that they use, like what's motivating them, what might work, what could be a cool thing to do, and incorporate it into your work and see if you like it. So you can catch Emily on social media. I'll put the links in the description. Check that out. Be sure to follow me here on YouTube, Daniel Norton Photographer, and Facebook. Be sure to subscribe to Adorama TV, and I'll see you next time on set.